Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the things that I wish that I had known prior to starting my fitness journey. I feel like if I had known some of these things back then, it would have made it a little bit easier, but I didn't know them then and I know them now, so I'm going to be sharing some of the tips that I have with you guys, and I'm going to be saving the one that I think is most important for the end, so just make sure that you watch this video through to the end. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Okay, and I have my notebook. I wrote stuff down because I didn't want to miss anything, so if I am looking down, it's just because I am looking at my notebook. So the first thing that I wanted to say, and I feel like this might be obvious, but I feel like it still should be said, is that when it comes to losing weight, it takes a lot of time and patience. It doesn't happen overnight at all. Like, I know that when I first started, I was super impatient and I wanted to see results right away, but it just doesn't work that way. It takes a lot of discipline and dedication and work, and you know, it just doesn't happen overnight. I know that it can be super frustrating and discouraging if you feel like you're putting in all this time and effort and you don't really feel like you're seeing results, but I promise you results do show in time. It just doesn't happen as fast as you would want it to. And I also think that if you do happen to lose weight in a way that's super quick, it might not be in the most sustainable way, and it might not be in a way that you will be able to keep off long term. The second thing, and this is what I struggled with the most, this is what honestly held me back for such a long time from reaching my own goals, was that I was too afraid of going to the gym alone. I was so afraid of going to the gym by myself. I would never go alone unless I was just doing cardio. But if it was like working out and like lifting weights or doing anything else besides cardio, I would never go alone. I only went if I had a friend to go with, because that was the only way that I was comfortable to be in the gym. I just didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I would be judged and people would look at me because I wasn't doing things properly or wouldn't know how to like work the machines properly. Like, I had so much anxiety built up around the gym and just going by myself that it stopped me for such a long time. Like, I had wanted to start my fitness journey such a long time before I actually did, and the reason why was because I was so in my head. If you have a friend to go to the gym with, like, that's awesome and it does help, but if you don't let that be the reason that you don't go, and don't let that stop you from reaching your goals. Like, you have just as much right to be in that gym as everybody else. So don't let your fears of what other people might be thinking about you get in the way of the goals that you want to reach. The third thing is that if you are actively trying to lose weight and you are tracking your macros or just tracking your food in general, I would suggest that you also count your fruit. When I first started, I never tracked my fruit. I would kind of just eat it as I wanted and I never ever accounted for it. Even though fruit is healthy and it is healthy sugars, it still is sugar and it still has carbs and everything like that. So different fruits have different calories. Like, strawberries are super low in calories, and then like dates are super high in calories. So once I started, I did notice a difference and I did see like how much it does add up. So yeah, if you are actively trying to lose weight and you are tracking your food, I would suggest that you also account for your fruit. I know. And my fourth tip would be to not completely deprive yourself. I feel like if you're eating healthy 90% of the time and you are on track with everything else that you are eating, that you should also be able to have little things that you also enjoy. Like, if you want to have a cookie or whatever it is that you want, just have it. I feel like if you deprive yourself so much to the point where like you end up going crazy, like that ends up being worse than if you just gave in to the initial craving. In the past, I would be super strict and I wouldn't give in to really anything, and then it would get to a point sometimes where I would just end up doing way worse than if I just had given into the initial craving that I had in the first place. So I think that anything in moderation is okay, and what matters most is what you do the majority of the time. So if you're eating healthy the majority of the time, then little treats and little snacks like that isn't really going to affect you at all. So don't completely deprive yourself. The fifth tip, and this I feel like ties in with the last one, is if you do end up messing up and eating way more than you planned, or you just messed up, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up for it. Don't just give up for the rest of the week and start Monday. Like, don't do that, because it usually ends up being like a cycle where you will start Monday, do well, and then somewhere in the middle of the week you kind of mess up, and then you throw in the towel again, and then you start back up on Monday again. Don't do that. If you mess up, it's not a big deal, and it's so much better if you mess up one day and then get back on track the next than if you mess up one day, say screw it to the rest of the week, eat like crap for the rest of the week and feel like crap, and then start back up on Monday. So like I said, if you mess up, just start back up the next day. Okay, and my sixth and final tip, and if you didn't watch this whole video and you only watched parts of it, I hope that this was one of the parts that you watched, because this is my biggest tip and this is the one that I wish that I had known the most. And that is, when you are first starting off and you're starting in a deficit, don't start your deficit super low. And the reason why I say that is because let's say you start off your diet and you're starting off with like 1,200 calories. If you have a larger amount of weight to lose, you're probably going to hit a point where you plateau. So if you've been eating 1,200 calories for a certain amount of time and now you hit this plateau, you're not going to have much wiggle room to cut from. So there's not going to be like, how many calories are you going to end up eating? Are you going to eat like 900 calories? Like, how you don't really have much to cut from. So ideally, you want to start losing weight on the maximum amount of calories that you can have and still lose weight. That way, when you do hit a plateau, because you probably will, especially if you have a bigger amount of weight to lose, you will have room to cut from and you don't feel like you're starving yourself, and you'll continue to lose weight because your body adapts to the amount of calories that it has. When I first started off, that's what I did, and I got to a point where I just wasn't losing any more weight, and I was going to the gym all the time and doing like a whole bunch of cardio and eating like 1,200 calories, and like I wasn't losing any more weight, and I was already eating like super low calories, and if I ate any less, then I would be like under eating severely, and that's just not even close to being healthy, and that's not what you want to do. And I know that it can be tempting to start with super low calories because you'll lose weight super quickly and you'll see results quick, and that will happen, but it's going to come to a point where that stops because your body, like I said, it adapts, and you're not going to be losing any more weight, and then there's not going to be much for you to cut from. So please, if you are starting off, don't start off super low on calories. Okay guys, so those were the tips that I had for you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that I was able to help somebody who might just be starting off. If you enjoyed this video, like I said, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if there's anything that you would like to see on my channel, please just write it down in the comments below. I would love to see. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.
We both know it's too late, but I think you already know. 'Cause it shows that every time you're around, I try to stay on the low.